friends. Welcome to How to Handyma'am, the podcast where we In this episode, we talk about caulk, and we also talk about my 50th birthday.
Yay!
Fangirling over Hamilton.
And Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift. And I forgot what else.
Just fun times in New York City.
Fun times in New York City. And a few other things.
Lots of other things.
I'm Samantha.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Arly, and this is How to Handyma'am. In this episode, we are dedicating to my very own baby niece, and I've been calling her GooGoo since she was announced to the world.
She was a small bean.
Since she was just a little thing. Anyway, she is the best thing in the entire world, and I miss her so much. I haven't seen her in a couple days, but I dedicate this to you, GooGoo, and hopefully one day you'll be so proud of your Auntie Arly.
And may we raise fierce women.
Yes.
May we be them, may we raise them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go, folks.
Let's start the episode.
Yay.
I have a quick chatting topic.
Okay, tell us.
Let's hear it.
Obviously, we've said it. This isn't going to be in real time. Oop. That was scary.
Sorry. We lost
we lost
the
on one of
lights.
our lights.
Yes.
So if the light just got suddenly 25% harsher, that would be why.
Yeah.
But this week, December 1st, our dearest, fearless leader, Samantha, turned 50.
Yeah.
Which no one believes she's 50.
Woo,
We barely
woo.
believe it either, except for the fact that I'm 26. So I hope you're 50.
Yes, I'm 50.
Teen bride, or teen mom, but 50 years of you is like such a great blessing, and as our listeners will know, you're so bubbly and fun, and the world was blessed 50 years ago.
Aw,
So
thank you so much.
that's my chatting topic.
I think you're okay.
I think you're okay.
Arly's like, I'm going to give you
And
a
now that I
sideways
hyped her
thumb.
up, I get to
I'm
tell
like,
a fun story.
3.
Now that I hyped her up, I can tell a fun story about. We just went to New York City to celebrate her 50th birthday, and we saw Hamilton, but Miss Ma'am over here started the trip. She does this thing, she's done it since my childhood, where she like side kicks weird and like gently kicks us in the butt. Like she's always done it. She used to do it at church, which was freaking hilarious. But she did it on the way in. She was so hyped up about getting to see Hamilton live with Leslie Odom Jr. Yeah. So on the way to the airport, this girl is basically on like a sugar high that's just a life high. And she goes to kick my butt and she like wallops my hand. And I'm like, ow! And then she just then is like, oh no, I missed. And then kicks me again. And I just told her today she did that. And she's like, what? This girl. I was like, ow, that hurt. And then you were like, la 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 la, like skipping through the airport, so excited, like you meant to do something funny. And then I turned to Dad and he said, your wife just kicked me. And he was like, what can I do? I can't do anything about it. And I was like, okay, moving on, because you literally didn't even, it's not even like you, like, were being rude, like you were being silly, didn't mean to, like, literally kick my hand.
Sorry about that.
And then you were like, la 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 la, I'm just gonna skip through the airport.
I remember the first time that she did that to me, and I was like, I think I've been sexually harassed at work. I didn't realize that it was your foot.
Oh, no.
And I had just been spanked by my boss at work.
I don't know how to describe it. It's basically like you can stand beside somebody, and when you're standing next to somebody,
leg turns into like a U.
yeah, you can't kick them unless you can bend your leg backwards and sideways at the same time.
Yeah.
I call it the side swipe.
Okay, for listeners, I'll just show.
Or for viewers.
For watchers, I'll just show real quick. She goes like this. Ooh. One more time. There you go.
So she did that, but she did that right into my pinky finger.
I'm sorry for what I did when I was excited about Hamilton.
Yeah, she was literally like gleeful, and then she was gleeful right after we saw the show, and then like the post-show hangover sadness hit.
It was one of the best days of my life.
Aw.
It was so good. It was one of those occasions where you were looking forward to something so much, and then it's everything you hoped it
was
would
like
be.
better than I was hoping.
It was so good. From the moment the first note came on, I was just like,
I forgot that it opens with him, with
Yes.
Leslie Odom Jr. So like,
so good.
it was literally like, turn off your phones, blah, blah, blah. The show's about to begin. And then he's literally, he was on stage. Like, it was like, it was like only second to see. It was second to seeing Taylor Swift, obviously. But it was like pretty close up there. But for some reason, I and my twin have this disease that like live music and plays make us want to like instantly cry. Not quite sure what's up.
Oh, it makes you emotional?
Yeah. So like as soon as he was on stage, I was like, don't cry in my head. And then, because like, if any of you have, which hopefully some of you, because you'll be my people, have watched the Eras Tour movie, she does the separate eras. I sobbed through the entire first era, and I know Lucas, my husband, was worried because I just kept seeing, like, he just kept side-eyeing, like, are you okay?
You're like, exactly. This is one thing. After 30 years, Dad does not learn this about me. Don't ask me questions when I'm crying. I will.
You do the same thing.
I will go to a decibel you cannot hear with human ears. It's like with my crying. If I'm crying, I cannot speak. Don't ask me questions.
But like, I love Taylor Swift so much. Like seeing her in front of me, I was like,
yeah,
you exist. I mean, I've seen her 4 times thanks to you, because as a child she let me go. But
Aww.
Yeah. If you're a Swiftie, comment, because not many people, I don't know if anyone on our staff is a fellow Swiftie, and so sometimes I'm on an island alone.
If you love Hamilton,
comment below as well.
Comment below. Hi folks, here we are back from the pee break and ready to talk about caulk. What's the talk about caulk?
All right.
We're going to try to be mature about this topic.
No, we're not.
Okay, for everyone listening, it is not caulk. Just some people.
The L isn't
Caulk, but
yes.
the L is silent.
Well,
right.
We're starting off with a game today.
Yay!
And when I was doing the research for this, I was like, I chose this one because I was like, I'm not going to get into the weeds with this one. It's going to be fun. And boy, oh boy, did I. But I summed it up and I took out most of the scientific words. But
there's lots to learn about caulk.
Yes,
there's a lot to learn. People just want to know when this thing needs something, which one do I use?
Oh, that's true. But Dr. Lewis, Dr. Suzanne Lewis, for you that are listening, I do have one scientific word in there. I kept it just for you. So
does it start with the letter L?
No.
Okay.
Why would it?
The Sesame Street.
Oh,
I don't get it.
I don't either. Your joke's lame.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Okay. And we finally have some stakes for this game.
Ooh, what is it? I'm going to win. You're going to go down. You're going to go down.
Surprises in the tote bag.
No way.
Ew.
Surprises.
Is
Are
it a
they,
puppy?
are they edible?
Surprises.
Is it vegetable? Is it fruit?
We're not playing
Is it-
25 questions.
Okay. And I have a pencil here.
Oh my gosh, 25 questions
And-
about tools would be fun.
That would be cool. So if you have questions about tools, put them in any of our places, and we will do an episode that's 25 questions about tools.
Oh, I
That'd
was
be cool.
thinking like the game 25 questions where you think of something.
Oh, is it
So like we'd think of
made
like
of metal or plastic?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Either one would be
I don't know
fun.
that game.
Is
I'm
it
on
made
board.
of caulk or caulk?
Caulk or sealant?
Hulk?
Hulk?
Or
Just word association.
Okay, so
Now I'm imagining his like,
Now-
biceps as caulk tubes.
now we have stakes for our game.
Okay.
Which is perfect because Samantha might, do something incredibly competitive. Who knows? We'll see.
No, I am
I'm
the soul of discretion when it comes to competition.
You're so cool, calm,
gonna
coy,
win.
collected. You're
I mean,
so
I am.
cool and mysterious over in that
I know,
corner.
I'm so-
You're just like,
I'm just a woman of mystery.
Okay, so I'm going to describe something, either a scenario or a type of caulk, and then you're going to have to tell me what it is.
All right, I'm on.
okay,
I'm up
so
for it.
do we answer at the same time, or is it like, it's her question, it's my question, it's her question, it's my question? Because she yells over me.
I do.
Okay, we'll do one at a time, but you can't change your answer based on the other person's, okay?
Okay.
We'll make up the rules as we go.
Okay.
Who
Whatever benefits
would have
me.
thought I was the quietest of the three? I've never been quiet.
I don't know. But are you ready for the game?
Sure.
Dun 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 dun.
Feels like the Hunger Games.
Okay, I'm gonna say it, and then I'll give you a second to think. Okay. This caulk is sticky but water soluble.
Wait, how specific are we supposed to be? Like kind of caulk or like Alex DAP 260 exterior white?
You don't have to be that specific.
Sticky but water soluble. I mean, they're all sticky.
9.
I know.
8.
All right, you can guess.
6. 5. 4.
Surround caulk? Like shower surround caulk.
Okay. What about you?
Not feeling so cocky about the game now.
Not feeling caulky at all. I feel like they're all sticky, so I don't know. I lose this round.
You have to guess something.
I guess I lose. I bet mine's not right.
Loctite.
No, that's not water soluble.
That's just a brand.
This is a hard game. You're giving. It's like a story
You hate
problem
trivia,
with
and
details
this is
missing.
trivia.
I hate trivia so much. Ask me how to spell it.
I'll fail.
Okay, well, I'm just going to pull it out. We have some caulk laying up here. I'm
is it
actually
really?
just
No,
going
it
to
was
pull this
multiple
one
choice.
off, okay? It's not multiple choice, but read this off.
Paintable silicone.
Supreme.
For those of you
Window, door,
listening,
and
I am giving
exterior.
her serious side eye.
Hybrid
It's
performance.
Stickier
30
than
minute
no
loop.
else, but it is water soluble.
Low odor, and it has a little nose on it. And it also has what I thought was a kangaroo, but is actually a caulk gun.
So paintable silicone. So
Doesn't it look kind of like a kangaroo if you like squint
it
your eyes
does look
and
like a
don't-
kangaroo, yes. I despise silicone caulk, despite the fact that it has some very specific uses that need to be silicone. So this, one of the reasons I despise silicone is it's not paintable. So if you like caulk your trim with silicone, you are SOL.
And then you paint over it, and then the paint like turns into little sad raindrops, like your tears.
So that one says it's silicone, but it's paintable. So I gave you side eye because I'm suspicious.
Well,
It is
here,
paintable.
let me explain something to you. So I looked up.
Liar.
Let me tell you something.
I looked
She's annoyed
up
with us today.
how it can be silicone and also paintable,
Tell me.
and it is because
Magic.
it is siliconized latex.
What does that
So
mean?
it's basically like a combination of some silicone, like the chemicalness of it, but it's got like the base part of like being
So
water
what's a very
soluble.
specific? So we like paintable caulk with trim, so we can paint close to it, and we like silicone caulk because it's waterproof, like 100%. What is the purpose of this
I have
particular
an idea.
combo? What is it?
The edge of a shower.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, where your
Cleans.
drywall butts up to your shower surround.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. This is random. I'm sorry. It's Friday and I'm crazy, but that's the version of like moissanite rings. Because
kind of.
it's carbon like a diamond plus silicone. That's what makes a moissanite.
I want
So
some
it's
moissanite
latex.
caulk.
It's latex caulk plus
shiny.
silicone. Sorry,
Okay.
that was super.
So
random,
Emily
but-
won that round.
So
Wait, or
let
did
No,
we
I
both
didn't.
lose?
I just want to go through this really quick. There are 4 components that make the paintable silicone different than anything else, and this one is directly
You mean different
For-
than any other kind of caulk?
different than water-based and different than silicone.
Okay.
So it's kind of like in the middle.
They had a baby.
Yeah. So it has,
Aw.
this one's for you, Dr. Lewis, methyl alkyl silicones, which is like the part of it that overcomes the anti-paint part of the silicone.
Okay.
And then it's got silicone polymers in it, which is the silicone part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it has acrylic latex. And then it has some kind of cross-linker that like,
Makes them all
Like
stay
an
together.
emulsifier?
I
Like in
think so.
cooking?
And it makes it so that like they dry together and it cures.
Okay.
So I thought that was super interesting.
It's like a peace talks person who makes everyone hug.
Yeah. It's like when my mom would be like, if you guys keep fighting, I'm going to make you sit on the floor, crisscross applesauce, hold hands, and sing Kumbaya to each other.
Then you're like, I like you, bye.
Yeah. And we did that all up until the last time we all saw each other. She makes us do it to this day.
Okay, score is 0-0.
Okay.
Next.
So that is
You,
no one.
we have the same score. Why did you make that noise?
Because I have 0.
Okay, what about tub to tile? What should you use?
Oh, between your bathtub and a tile surround?
Mm-hmm.
Sanded.
Well, tile.
Sanded caulk.
Was she supposed to answer first?
You had last time first. Guess.
True.
Sanded caulk.
Yes, sanded caulk, which is actually a sealant, which we'll get to the difference of those in a minute. So it's sanded sealant caulk, but we just call it sanded caulk.
Ooh, I love it, and I love the tech brand specifically from Menards because the grout matches the caulk, including the caulk because it's sanded caulk is gritty like grout is.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
So when you caulk the edges with that sanded caulk, it 100% blends in with your grout, but it's squishy and stretchable, so it does not crack.
Yeah, it's a
Love that
really
product.
great product. It is kind of a learning curve when you use it because it's not quite as simple as
Like a paintable caulk.
like a paintable, like the Alex DAP, but it's not sticky like silicone or
No.
like sand or paintable silicone.
If you have any kind of tile, wherever there's a change in plane, plane, so you go from vertical to horizontal, or where two things come together, like two different walls are perpendicular to each other, you don't use grout because houses move, and when those joints move, they'll crack. So that's the use for this. When you have a tile job, you have matching caulk that goes anywhere there's a change of plane.
And it looks better.
It does. It looks so
It
good.
looks a lot better than silicone.
Yes.
It doesn't change colors. You can get them in a variety of colors that match exactly.
Yeah.
And it just like, it's not shiny. It has no gloss or anything to it. It's just,
It looks exactly
perfect.
like grout when it's dry.
I
It's
think-
really nice.
The best of like this kind of product is where you can't tell it's there.
Yes, exactly. It looks just like grout even though it's not.
Yeah, and like when
Yeah.
you paint something, you can't tell it's been caulked. It just looks.
It
like
just
it's
looks
perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. An outdoor grill.
An outdoor grill.
Like if you have like an outdoor kitchen or something like that. Gonna use it outside in that
I
area.
have an idea, but
Let's hear it.
like the heat resistant, like it's like what you use to like glue a fire pit together.
Okay.
Oh.
What about you?
I
I'm
can't
trying to
remember.
imagine the use.
Like I can't. I know. Like I can picture the tube of it, but I can't remember.
Why? You have to tell me. I need more story. I don't understand the use you're going for.
Well,
Okay,
when this
so you
little
want something-
piggy started to build his grill.
You want something that's gonna be outside
Okay.
and be exposed to things that are outside and in like a cooking setting.
So you need something that can be exposed to heat and the elements. I don't know what that is.
I think it's like mortar adhesive. Or something.
I'm losing and I'm sad. What is it though? I want to know.
Okay. It is a. Sorry, my brain just stopped working. It is like a
Do do
do,
do
I'm
do
so
sorry.
do.
I'm sorry. It's a silicone caulk that
Okay.
has like silicone caulks have all different properties, but you're gonna want something that's UV resistant with heat resistant. So those are two different factors, and not all silicone caulks
Okay.
have them.
Does it have a specific name? Like, would it be called something on the tube? Like, regardless of what brand it is, would it have a name that would indicate that it's for heat and for exterior use?
Yes, but I can't.
I'll do a
remember.
quick Goog.
Yeah, do
You
Google.
Google while she's.
I'm pretty sure it's like outdoor food silicone, whatever. Plus, silicone that's made for your kitchen is actually food safe,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
which others are not.
Do 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 do.
For those of you just listening.
Silicate fire resistant caulk.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
So, that one is, I think you got it.
I did definitely
I
not
was
get it.
close-ish.
I think we're 1-2. Emily's winning. Womp womp.
Okay.
Yay!
Concrete patch or cracks?
So there's specifically a caulk that's called concrete patch. But it depends on the purpose. Okay, so there are really two that I would guess. Ooh. One would be like if you have just like a simple area you need to patch where you're going to be able to like squeeze it in and then maybe just spread it out a little. But then there's a specific kind of concrete crack caulk.
Oh, the silica
that is
one?
No, the one that is the self-leveling.
Oh,
so it comes,
Sika.
Yeah, Sika Pro. It comes out very liquidy, but then as it comes out and then it levels itself before it cures. Mm-hmm. And people use those a lot in the cracks or the gaps, the purposeful gaps between like driveway sections or sidewalk sections. They'll use those a lot of times. What it does is prevents water from getting into the crack and then freezing and then expanding and pushing the concrete apart. So, yeah, we've used a lot of that self-leveling kind, but I know that there are other kinds. I actually see one on the table.
Yeah.
That's called concrete and mortar filler and sealant. This would be more for repairs, where the other one is like a purposeful anti-ice problem caulk.
I think she should get 2 points for that because
Okay. Do you get any points for that?
No, because I didn't answer nothing.
All right, well, it's 3-2 now.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
I know how to make you happy.
Yes, you do.
Okay, your kitchen sink.
Oh,
Still straight silicone.
straight silicone.
Usually clear.
Despite
being super bummed about using that. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I have a fun story to go on.
That is because silicone that's made specifically and marketed specifically for your kitchen is like I think they're like all of them that say kitchen on them are FDA approved.
Okay.
At least that's what the internet
be used
So you
around
can
food.
eat it? Just kidding.
I think you could. Yeah.
Disclaimer, don't eat
Do
caulk.
not eat caulk.
Don't eat it. But
Sorry.
it also is like non-toxic after it dries. It doesn't like leach into things. It doesn't let things leach into it.
Makes sense.
When caulking in your kitchen, just be a little careful. Because this one time when it was just Samantha and I,
Talk about one of the worst days ever.
I did most of the research on products. Like, she figured out how to do the thing, and then I figured out what we needed to do the thing. That's kind of how we divided things.
We're putting a new sink in.
And so I bought caulk that was for it. It was 100% silicone, and I was like, this is the creme de la creme. I looked it up. It was that GE stuff, actually.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
our favorite. She didn't know that, and we'd only really used paintable caulk and, like, water-soluble caulk. So I come down, and
It's
she
like a
looks
baton
like...
in a running. She just hands me the caulk. I'm like, got it. Snap off the top. Put it in
I
the...
come down, her hands are covered in caulk, the counter is covered in caulk. She's been trying to, like, clean it up, and it's like a little kid who got into something, and she's like, help.
I'm sticky.
Yeah, when we say like silicone is not water soluble and like water won't help you clean it up, it's not just that water won't help you clean it
It'll
up.
make it worse.
Water will turn it into a nightmare.
Yeah.
It
It
just
actively repels it,
smears.
but then you're like,
Sometimes it, like, encapsulates some of it, and then it, like, turns goopy. Yeah, they say mineral spirits, it's just not the easiest to clean up.
No.
rubbing alcohol works.
Or just mechanically removing it,
Yeah.
like with a caulk scraper. Something
Yeah.
like
Caulk
that.
is one of those things, though, that if you mess it up, it's quite,
You
like...
can get it
it's
out,
pretty
yeah.
easy
Yeah,
to...
silicone is less forgivable because like even if you wipe it up or you wait until it dries and then you scrape it up, if you ever have any left on your surface and you're trying to go over the area again with something that isn't also 100% silicone, then it just will never do
it has
its
to be
job.
removed entirely.
But
So a couple tricks for silicone caulk. One is cut the tip of your caulk tube small, so you get small bits out at a time. A lot easier.
And you can always go bigger.
You can always go bigger. And don't use your finger to spread it because your finger has moisture and oils that aren't helpful for the process and it gets sticky and difficult to clean off. They make caulk tools that have like a rubberized end. So if you put a small bead on and then you use that actual tool, they're like literally like 75 cents to spread it. It's a lot easier then.
They're usually hanging next to the caulk tubes.
The other thing you can do if you want to spread it with your finger, you can actually spray your hands with Windex.
Oh.
And then you
That's
can
a cool tip.
then you can use your finger to spread the silicone.
it's because Windex has like alcohol in it.
Oh, because, like, if you get a ring stuck on you, like jewelers will spray Windex on your finger and it shrinks it. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No, it just makes it doesn't stick to the...
I'm full of randomness today.
It doesn't stick to the silicone, but it also doesn't damage the silicone. And it doesn't hurt your hands to put it on.
So
your
magic.
Hands. It's magic. Yeah. So, okay, silicone.
Okay. A bathroom surround, like the one that you have in there.
I don't know, maybe bath surround caulk.
You can use that, but you can, because the outside of a surround is not in the direct wet area. So you can, where your surround meets the drywall, you can use a standard high-quality paintable caulk, which is what I used in that bathroom so that I could cut clean lines next to the shower surround.
Oh, I thought it was for gluing stuff up. I don't know. I'm confused now.
No, we're talking more about, I mean, some of them are adhesive caulks, but right now we're talking about caulk as opposed to, like, adhesives.
Yeah, I didn't include construction adhesive in any of this. And
I can't wait for that one. There are some that are like, oh my gosh, this is so useful.
So on the plain version, you're both right. But also, it's a trick question because you're both wrong.
Betrayer!
Would you like to guess
us.
why?
Why are we wrong? You're not supposed to caulk it? I don't know.
Oh,
What?
yeah, because some of them are made to not be
Yeah.
caulked.
Some of the bath surrounds.
But you talked about where the drywall hits the surround. That always has to be
I
caulked.
said bath surround. That's all I said.
Oh, you were just trying to be tricky.
I'm being
You little
tricky.
Tricky trickster. Yes.
Some of the bath surrounds are not supposed to be caulked on the seams of it
Where
when
the
the two
panels
walls
come together, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's important to look in the directions because if they're supposed to be caulked, they must be caulked. And if they're not supposed to be caulked, they must not be caulked.
And it'll void your boring.
It will, yeah. And that's because the ones, it's kind of like siding. Siding, like vinyl siding, is not caulked, it's not sealed. It's mechanically designed to take water from top to bottom and keep it away from the things that aren't supposed to be wet. And surrounds that are built to not be caulked have the same thing. They're mechanically built to direct water to where it needs to go. Where the other ones, they just come together and they need to be caulked in order to be sealed.
We've
that
seen
was a
some-
good one, even though it was very tricky.
I know.
We've seen
But
some
it was my way of
clients-
bringing it up.
I love that.
We've seen some clients who have had that area caulked, and it's actually kind of moldy because it's not, like, airing out. Like
It's not supposed- yeah.
Yeah. It's not built. It's built to, like, avoid the areas where it's not supposed to go and then dry out.
Yes.
It's not built or, like, kind of, I guess, designed to not have any water go in that area. Because if it gets stuck there, because it's not designed to have water be totally avoided from that area, it's designed to have it dry out once the rest of it has gone out. Then if you caulk that area, then it sits there and gets yuckified.
I have a little trick to tell if it is. Where the two areas meet, if they're harsh lines where they touch, that probably should be caulked. But if it's like a round over,
Yeah, if they're like super rounded edges touching,
that means
that's a good thing. That's usually correct.
but usually you can find like your model of shower, but if you can't,
yeah.
that's a good indicator.
Yeah. I will say part of the reason why you don't caulk the ones that are not meant to be caulked is because they're also meant to move.
Yeah.
And so I say this with the greatest vehemence to know which one you have because the shower surround and tub that my brother put in for me, the pieces are designed to move.
Right behind you right now, camera, just so you know.
They're meant to move. They fit together like a puzzle, a loosely puzzled puzzle, but they're meant to move and they're meant to breathe. But we didn't realize that and we caulk them, but they still move even though they're caulked. So then your caulk lines crack. And that introduces a little space where soap debris and other things can get in. And then you don't always get, sometimes you get mold itself, but you'll get like that soap scum, like that orangey soap scum that just is very difficult
That's
to
a
get out
form of
then.
mold.
Is it? So it's very gross. So what we had to do, because we had already caulked it, and this is a great tip, if you have a bathtub, if the line between your shower surround and your bathtub, the horizontal line, if the caulk keeps cracking, it's probably because, one, that it's not meant to be caulked, but once you've started caulking it, it's kind of hard to go back. Or there's not a mortar bed under your bathtub. So new, like, acrylic tubs, like an old cast iron tub or a steel tub, they don't need anything under them. They support themselves. But acrylic tubs, they'll flex. So when you put an acrylic tub in, it should have a mortar bed under it that it sits in and it cannot move. Well, ours, we did not put that in. So every time you get in, it's flexing yours, and then it makes that line crack. So here's the solution after 5 years that we figured out. You have to clean all of the grody caulk out. So it's clean, and then you take 2 days and let it just dry out completely. And then you gently fill up your bathtub full with water, like to make sure not to splash it. And then you get in the bathtub while you caulk it, because that's as much weight as there's ever going to be.
Well, that's
so
a good
the
idea.
water and the human will push your tub down, and then you caulk it, and then when you get out, it actually springs up and compresses the caulk. But then when you put the weight back in, it stretches back to its normal size. So we're going on 6 months of that repair on this bathtub. Perfect
That's
fix.
brilliant. That's brilliant.
That was one. I was sort of scouring the internet for like months because we're gonna have to rip this out. This is just not working.
I remember that's why I brought it up, and that's why I pointed over there. I thought I was going to totally give it away.
No, you
That
didn't.
was
I thought
tricking
you were
her.
just like pointing at the camera or something. I didn't even pick it up.
You're just being sneaky, but I like it. All right, what's the next one?
Your toilet.
Ooh, you
Silicone.
answered for
100%
you
silicone.
answered first last time.
Reverse.
Now you do it.
Reverse.
Silicone.
Any specifics to go with that?
I prefer clear or white, depending on your toilet. Mostly white, and they make antibacterial ones, and I like that one.
Do you have anything to add to yours?
Emily is correct, but my personal preference is clear because white tends to yellow as it gets peed on.
Ew.
That's disgusting.
Anybody who lives with a boy knows it. Even the cleanest boy, sometimes it happens. So clear silicone will typically be washable and not have any color, continue not have white, just does not stay sparkly white. And the problem is, too, if it gets a little bit dirty, I am guilty of this. I like to use harsh cleaners, which is bad, but I love the Lysol lemon scent. And you spray things, but certain things are not meant to have harsh chemicals on them, so then you make the surface porous, and then the problem just gets worse and worse and worse. So
It gets like fuzzies on it and
yeah,
stuff.
so clear.
Okay, well,
Clear.
Emily is right.
Okay.
And the reason is not the color. It is 100% silicone, but it's the bath caulk that has,
Antimicrobial properties.
yeah, it's mold and mildew resistant.
I got to give you props. Knuckles.
Not all of...
Look, I avoided stabbing you.
Thank you.
I was like, how can kitchen and bath and outdoor silicones be different if they're all labeled 100% silicone?
It makes sense. One's food safe, which you don't need near your toilet, hopefully.
Yeah.
One's antimicrobial, which you don't have the same kinds of microbes in the kitchen that you do in the
And it's
bathroom.
probably
hopefully.
not food safe.
It's probably
with
not.
how it's
Yes, do not
antimicro-
eat around your toilet base. That's a bad idea.
But some are kitchen and bath.
Yeah, some of
This
them
one
are
says
because they
kitchen and
share
bath.
they share a lot of properties, like being around water and being really stretchy and then being not super odorous. Like they share a lot of properties, which is why they can like bundle it together. And now something that's labeled just for your bath, I'm sure you can use it in the kitchen because it's silicone and it's still going to do the primary job. But if it's labeled bath, and what is really important to you is that the silicone in your kitchen is food safe and will be able to withstand hot temperatures, you're not going to get that out of a caulk that's labeled purely for your bath.
Yep. Okay.
So, okay, we have
5-5, Emily.
Oh, yeah.
Tied up.
we have 2 more.
Okay.
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 And these, the first one, I'll give you this one, and then I'll give you a little lesson, and then I'll ask you the last one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You
Okay.
answer first. This time.
Okay.
The outside corner of trim, like a outer mitered edge.
Should not be caulked.
What should it be,
It should be bondoed.
Emily?
I think it should be molding caulk, which is a sealant, and it's like 75% flexible, so it doesn't fall out the hole.
Okay.
I think I'm right.
I think you're both wrong.
Oh my gosh!
What? Look at that devilish look on your face.
You looked at me like I was right.
I know you
I
did.
know, because that was actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that's what Christine, our favorite Sherwin-Williams lady, told us.
Well,
Okay, what do you think is the right answer?
it should be wood filler. My
No.
problem with Bondo
Disagree.
is that it gets
It's gonna
griddly.
be fisticuffs in here.
And I don't...
Wood filler gets blah, 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 and then falls out.
I think
Okay,
I'm
here's
the
my
one
little
that
hack. Okay. This is something that I've been doing for a while. Is I put wood filler into the crack. Okay? And it holds the majority of it. And then you sand it and you make it perfectly flat, and then you take a little bit of caulk on your finger. My favorite is the molding, the crown molding, and whatever by DAP. And then you just run it across it so it has like a film of flexibility on it.
I feel like we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Well, I'm right, because
I'm not crossing that aisle
I feel like
to come
I'm,
over.
I feel like I'm the most right.
Wood filler.
I feel like that's a pretty good answer, because your outside corners are going to get a lot of wear and tear, and they're going to move a lot, and they're a lot more visible.
And you
Because
ever stub
if you
your
have an
toe,
inside
you're moving
corner,
it.
if it moves a little bit, you might see a little bit of like a shadow if your caulk cracks. But if it's your outside corner and something cracks a little bit, it can really open that up.
Yeah,
and,
it can.
And you can get stuff in there or whatever, or it makes it a lot more obvious. And so if you have something like shoved in the back of that line, and then wood
One
filled
thing I will
or
say
caulked.
that we did at the VFW that you started doing that I think is an excellent idea is actually gluing together your outside miters.
I was just about to mention that.
yeah, so that's just, it doesn't negate any of the anything else we just said, but it's an extra step if you put, and you didn't use like normal super glue, did you?
I use the Gorilla Gel.
Gorilla Gel.
That's
Yeah,
stuff
so
that
if
we
you
love.
use that on your outside corners, they will help it hold up to the stress of a shifting house.
And it's hard to get in all of the different angles in a hallway or in your house. It's hard to get those two mitered corners to be nailed into each other. Great craftsmen will nail the two mitered edges
Yeah, through
together.
the outside of one into the other,
one.
and then through.
And that's
yeah.
kind of hard to do sometimes,
It
because
can chip the edge really easy.
you can chip
Yeah,
it,
crack it.
Sometimes your nails aren't quite right. They go too far, or they hit something in the wood that's unexpected.
And then
go
they actually
doing.
make your miter disconnect.
Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes it's not always the most successful. But if you super glue them first, and then you nail them like either to each other or into the wall, then you have like a little added extra protection. And eventually super glue will, like, it's not like a lifetime guarantee or something. If you have super glue and a nail, then you'll have a very, very long-term
But
solution.
the caulk is a good solution because we're generalists as Handyma'ams, so we're not necessarily going to be the creme de la creme of carpentry. Like, we do an excellent job, but also for DIYers, it's great. And thirdly, walls are never 90 degrees.
No,
they're not.
Not even
Even
in new builds.
builds.
No.
So
If
Yeah.
you get one, it's like a leprechaun.
Yeah. A caveat, though, is if you have an outside corner that has quite a big gap and you're unable to recut your trim in order to fill that gap, then I would say use Bondo.
Yeah.
Because Bondo's kind of a hard filler. It doesn't have like a lot of elasticity that caulk has. And it's also not as easy to like remove and like sand away as wood filler.
Yeah, so you want to use less of it and use it less often.
Use
if
it
Yeah,
you
you
can.
don't want to use it. I
Yes,
wouldn't use
exactly.
it for every outside
You definitely
corner.
want to slap a bunch on. We can do a whole thing on Bondo, which is a very useful product for you to be able to use in your home, but that's definitely like 103
Yeah.
as opposed to 101. Okay,
Okay.
so we're still tied, 5-5. Last question, bottom
Well,
of the
I'm
ninth.
gonna give you. I'm gonna
Fourth
give you
quarter.
a small little. lesson
more
real quick.
lessony than you just lessoned us.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about UV resistance in silicone. We talked about food grade, which also they have specific silicones for like hospitals that are medical grade, which I thought was interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
They have ones that are for specifically electronics because they have a different something in them.
They're probably non-conductive.
And they are something that's called an acid cure, which, well, some silicones are acid cure, which means they can be really corrosive on metals. So you don't want to use those in some electronics. You want to use a neutral cure,
Okay.
which is like lower odor. The acid cure is actually why some of our silicone smells like vinegar. That's the acid cure.
Huh.
Which I thought was so interesting because I was like, oh, this stuff smells just like vinegar. And it is. Like, it does smell just like vinegar because it's like that acidicness. Okay, then we talked about temperature fluctuations. We talked about mold and mildew resistant. And we didn't talk about how some silicone caulks that aren't 100% silicone have fillers in them. They're called expandable silicone. So it means that they have silicone in them, but then they're filled with other stuff. So they're kind of like a cheaper version of it.
Okay. So the ones that say 100% silicone don't have those expanders, fillers in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just 100%
Straight up silicone.
And I think like the way that it's processed in like some of the more the other additives and stuff in it make it, whether it's like mold resistant, UV resistant, whatever. But by and large, it's 100% silicone.
All right.
Okay, and then we talked about concrete.
Yep.
What's the jiggers?
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about it. And then, okay,
We're ready.
what do you use on aquariums?
Oh, I know.
Hmm.
Marine caulk.
I did not know that.
No, I'm asking you.
Well, I assume that's true. I would say 100% silicone.
Well, I don't know anything about anything anymore.
I'd say-
I keep getting stuff wrong that I'm right on.
Here we thought 5.5 years later we know all about caulk. I would say 100% silicone would be my guess. That's my guess.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me?
Because that's like, we just talked about how like 700 different things are 100% silicone.
Okay. Well,
Well, it is neutral cure.
Oh.
Why?
Which is because acid cure is too strong for aquariums. And it like
Oh, in
leaches
water.
chemicals into their water.
And then your little fishies.
oh.
So it's a slower drying process, but it's like more safe. Which is also why like it has really low odor. And I think that's this one. And your kitchen and your baths are usually that low odor because it doesn't have like that strong, quick cure.
Oh, I love whoever designed this packaging because it says not paintable. It tells you right
Oh,
on
yeah.
there. That's so helpful. So, can we do a follow-up video? Because we have, like, we've given people a lot of information, but we do have some very specific products we love.
Yes, we
so
do.
can we do a separate video and then a list in the show notes of, like, if you are going to install a baseboard and it's going to be painted, this is the caulk we recommend. If you're going to install a stainless steel kitchen sink, this is the caulk we recommend. Can we do that?
Yeah, there'll be 3 places where like you can find more in-depth looks at what we talk about. Firstly, TikTok or like Reels, anywhere you can get those short form videos. Like Arly and I made one for our first episode showing close-ups of the tools we talked about, especially for people who listen instead of watch the podcast. And then also in the show notes, we have our Lowe's storefront, which each episode will have, like we have episode 1's up right now, and it's all the products we talked about. So you can go right there.
Things that we love.
And and it's like, if you wanted anything we talked about, you can add it right to the cart. That's going to be in our description. And then our description also just usually will have a list or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you have any questions, you can join our Facebook group, which is, you search How to Handyma'am, and then we have a Facebook page and all the socials at How to Handyma'am. So
Amazing.
Okay.
we got
Are
a
we
lot
ready
going on, guys, but
for
we're happy you're here.
our surprise prize?
Oh, but who won? Who won? I
It
think
was
Emily
5
won.
to 5, and then she said marine caulk, which
All right.
isn't.
It's a closer match.
Marine caulk probably is neutral cure.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
because you use it on boats, and it's
I
okay
can be
for
a
the
gracious
fishies.
loser.
Okay, well, close your
I
eyes.
even gave you an extra point.
You did. That's only fair. What's in the bag?
You have to also close
Is it a
your
puppy?
eyes.
Oh, I have to close my eyes too?
I can't handle another dog.
for those of you that are not watching but listening, Emily and I are closing our eyes and we are not peeking. What is it? What is it? What is it?
I hear candy.
It sounds like candy. It's probably caulk.
3, 2, 1. Open your eyes.
Candy and tissues. Wait,
Candy
this
and
is
tissues.
for you.
That feels very much like a Samantha Pearl pile.
Well,
Ooh, sour
I
lemon.
thought, I was like, you know what? We need to have stakes this episode.
Okay.
So then I went downstairs. We're in Samantha's house. And I went through her drawers and I found some things.
I was
no
gonna
wonder
say
this is a
sour
Samantha
lemon.
pile. It's
Okay.
tissues, because those of you that have listened, this will be episode 7, I think. You will know by now that I clear my throat a lot. I have allergies, and so I'm constantly blowing my nose and clearing my throat.
I'm unboxing my prize.
And also, I love all things lemon, which is what Emily is unboxing right now.
Yes.
Lemon Myconites.
And you love your grand dog turned lemon.
Yes, I do.
I've decided that every time we do a game that I have a prize, it's either going to be a juicy surprise, like something that you really want, like like a Panera gift card maybe one time, or things I find on your main floor.
I am going to try the Mike and Ike sour lemon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should definitely do candy tasting.
Ugh.
Are they good?
Whoa.
Is it super sour? I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, it's literally the outside of a lemonade. You should try it.
On that note, this podcast is... The purpose is to teach women how to take care of their own homes. And to
Not
give you
how
enough-
to eat candy, but we do like to do that.
That's a sidebar. And to give you enough information to deal effectively with your contractors.
I'm sorry, that was so sour. I'm going to keep
Also, we really want to do in-person education, and not just here in Michigan where we are, but there are things that we could come to major metropolitan areas all over the country and teach women to do. So the purpose of the podcast is to get us to that point. So if you love that and you'd love to see it happen, then please tell your friends about us and rate, review, subscribe, follow, all the stuffs that will be
And
helpful.
leave us a 5-star review, unless you want to make us cry.
In which case, don't leave a review. Yeah. But thanks
5-star
for
reviews
coming
only.
today. We love you guys.
Bye.
Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.